Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
And we're back. Welcome to another episode of And in His Corner. Coming out the white corner, my name is Bill, and I'm ready to fight.
Coming out the black corner, my name is Barry, and I'm ready to fight.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
All right, and in this corner where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best TV shows, best movies, best anything, basically. And today, what are we talking about, Bill?
Hey, we got some rumbling in the Verzuz world. Finally, we have some rumbling. All right, they released the flyer for Verzuz, and we have reggaeton. So we have Looney Tunes versus DJ Nelson.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Obviously, when we seen these names, not necessarily, I'm not familiar with reggaeton too much. Bill, what about you?
I know songs. I'm not going to lie. I know songs. And if you say a name of an artist, I may or may not know the name of that artist or who that artist is.
Yeah, I think some of these songs have become pop to where we know the songs. We can't really identify who sings it. So now I want to ask you, first question, does this matchup make sense? And you could look at it. It's a layered question in this case.
Yeah.
So does this matchup make sense?
So for me to start out, if they chose these two reggaeton artists or they're producers, I will say, yes, it makes sense in a sense of that is a genre, that is a world where that the reggaeton music is very, very popular. So if these are the two artists they chose, yes, it makes sense. Maybe they could have chosen Daddy Yankee versus someone else as well, which may be coming, but yes, this makes sense.
All right, so I got a couple of things, and I'm mainly looking at it from the business side. I do think it makes sense. I think they had to eventually cross over. What I mean by that is experiment with other genres. When you look at the catalog for Timbaland and Swiss, it's heavily saturated with R&B, hip hop, rap. Now they have experimented outside of the genre. I mean, especially Nelly Furtado, whatever her name was, with, Timbaland.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but Tim and Swiss, they gave up shares of Verzuz to Triller, and eventually Triller's going to want some money back. And I don't think the one consistency with every billionaire in the world is that they are pop. Their product is sold to not just one particular race or creed. So I think eventually they have to experiment with that. Triller got to get their money back. And then also I think the goal for Swiss and Tim, they either want Triller to go public or they want Triller to make more money so that way their shares get overvalued and they could sell that off. So kudos to them. And also this makes sense to where this is their first crossover, I would say, like to where it's like, okay, this don't got nothing to do with their base. It's not hip hop, it's not rap, it's not R&B. This is the first time I remember them crossing over. And it makes sense because Hispanics are like reggaeton is mainly with Hispanic. So Swiss Beats, I know he got Puerto Rican descent in him, but mainly so it's close proximity to Black. To where I think certain people who listen to reggaeton also listen to rap, listen to hip hop, listen to R&B. So Latinos are close proximity to Black people. So it makes sense for this to be the first time they cross over. I do think it would be in poor taste the first time they cross over to put on the flyer Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. That's coming. It just would be in poor taste to do that the first time out. So so that's coming down the line.
Let me rebuttal that. That actually would be I don't think it necessarily, I wouldn't use the words poor choice, poor taste. That probably, in my opinion, matter of fact, not even in my opinion, I know it would be one of the most watched verses of all times. If they would have dropped NSYNC versus not New Kids on the Block.
NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. I'm sorry. If or Christina Aguilera versus Britney Spears. If they would have dropped either one of those two flyers, it would have. It's honestly monumental.
All right, so it's
monumental. So
if they drop that flyer today,
today,
or if they dropped it 3 weeks from now, like next month, do you think that because they dropped this first, that if they drop it out 4 weeks from now, that future event would somehow be less significant? Like you think that people wouldn't watch it because this one was dropped first? You understand?
No, I'm saying I'm saying if they would have dropped it first before this one, it would have, no matter the magnitude of the verses, would still be as high as if it would be 2-3 weeks from now. Just because of the names.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because if they dropped it today, you do risk alienating some of your core fan base. If you drop it 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, I think nobody's going to get alienated because they're already open to the idea that you've already begun crossing over.
Well. If you go back to one of the first verses, Held, they had two crossover producers. Ryan Tedder and Benny Blanco. Benny Blanco, I think that's his name. Two producers who, if you look at it, they would be considered crossed over because let's just say I'm reading some stuff from Ryan Tedder, Jonas Brothers, Lady Gaga, Maroon 5, One Direction, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. That's a crossover effect.
Yeah, and some of that could be they learned their lesson. Because remember, all of this is before Triller purchased them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
like you said, Triller, any business wants money to continue to generate.
If I give you money, if I buy your shares, I'm gonna need that back. And I think right now, as is, you could see, like, I love Verzuz the way it is, but no, I love Verzuz, excuse me, but the way it is,
absolutely,
we're having to wait for Verzuz every month and a half, every 2 months. So during that downtime, I don't think it's hurting anybody to fill up the space with stuff that I like. Even though I traditionally wouldn't listen to it or watch it, there's a chance that you're gaining more subscribers or followers because they listen to it.
It's a possibility. Yeah, everything. I have to look at it from the eyes of a business person, not as necessarily a fan. Starting this channel, everything is based on fandom. We're fans of music, we're fans of movies, we're fans of TV shows, sitcoms. We're fans. But as our channel continues to grow, I'm still a fan no matter what. But then I'm also looking at it from a business standpoint.
Yep.
And what's going to generate me money? What's going to bring eyes to my channel? Let's look at who are the sponsors for
MLB?
This. It's
I saw MLB being one of them.
Hosted by Corona and T-Mobile.
Yeah. Okay.
That's telling you right there. It's not the Ciroc anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So now
not saying no more, but just they're getting sponsors.
And here's the thing. Now we get into the advantages, because some of that sponsorships are advantages for them doing this. Are there any advantages and disadvantages when you look at them experimenting with this new fan base? You mentioned it. I think as if I want somebody to sell my stuff, I do want variety. I want diversity in their
variety and diversity.
It's like, so not this, and some of these organizations do have an old school, like it's like a boys club mindset, to where some of them traditionally don't support Black content. I'm not going to act like there's not a glass ceiling. However, I do think this opens them up to the idea of supporting, Triller, which at least with Verzuz has a primarily, black base when it comes to their fans. They need to make their money back. And I think Swiss and Tim are looking at Dre, how Dre he was a rapper producer, and he was able to turn an idea with Beats headphones into like $1 billion, opportunity.
Even his streaming service, his platform.
They're looking at all of that.
It became
stuff.
Apple Music.
So for me, I want them to profit off of their idea. It's inspiring, to black folks to see, wow, sometimes, instead of you looking for things to do on maybe a college application, you could just, you could literally come up with an idea and it become $1 billion idea. Because this, there's no way you could have went to school to do a Verzuz thing. It's like they took their passion and they've been able to capitalize on it. Yeah. I want to see them become billionaires off of that.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just know when I look at billionaires, I look at, I'm thinking of Oprah. Everybody watched that show, not just black people. I'm looking at MJ. Everybody buy Jordans, even Republicans, if you ask them. Not just black people. You know the quotes. And then with them, in order for them to make this $1 billion opportunity, everybody has to watch Verzuz. It can't be a thing to where I'm showing up at a water cooler and only Bill knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. As opposed to the salaries in the workplace.
Well, again, what started as a friendly competitive battle between two DJs, look what it's grown into.
Yeah. And
look at
they're not satisfied yet. They want more.
Absolutely. But Bear, look at what you and I calling each other on the phone the day after the Teddy Riley Babyface battle, just on the phone, and we're just discussing it. I'm driving. I remember I was driving down the street, going to the gym to work out, and you were home, and we just talked about it. And then we set up another phone call or Zoom, I think, so that we could actually just go over our stuff and go round by round. That was 2 years ago. Literally 2 years ago. Look at where we are now.
Yeah, that's why even sometimes when Verzuz doesn't get it right, I'm cool with the growing pains because it's a 2-year-old baby, So, and once again, like I said this in my does this matchup make sense? But I want variety. Like if person A, I'm person A. I love R&B. Person B, they love rap. Person C may love reggaeton, rap, and R&B. So I think both person A and B get punished because they have to wait a month to watch a Verzuz. And where with this, C gets rewarded, to where it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm waiting for R&B and rap, but I do like reggaeton, so I get to watch it. So I just want more variety. And if this works, I think they're able, like you said, Coronas come to the table, T-Mobile, that's more money. And I think it allows them to do stuff that we want to see, which is fun dream matchups. And in actuality, if you ask me who I want to see on a Verzuz stage, the Chris Browns, the Ushers, the Beyoncés, the Drakes, right now they can't afford it. And I think the more sponsors you get, the more that becomes a realistic, reality to where it's like, okay, I could pay that fee because I have sponsors backing me now.
Yeah. I could see them tinkering. I mean, we've seen them tinker with gospel twice. We've had rap, we've had R&B, we had soul.
Yep.
Now we have reggaeton. We've had reggae. The Beanie Man. And so what's next?
So it looks
jazz.
Yeah, well, here, this is what I was gonna say because I knew you were going that route.
You're right,
I want to keep your expectations tame because the one thing I could say about R&B probably shouldn't get showcased as much as it does, but you already know that Timbaland and Swiss Beats, they cut their teeth with R&B. Like a lot of their records are R&B. So I understand that they're tied to that, but rap is technically pop now, so that's gonna get you an audience. So they're focusing on audience, like music genres that have a large audience, right? That those are the ones they could actually get a lot of sponsors for. So if not reggaeton,
which is fine.
Yeah, if not reggaeton, I would see I think the next logical step is going to be not present day pop, but like that 2000s pop, like the Backstreet Boys, the Christina Aguilera.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
Definitely.
a huge fan base right there.
That's a big fan base. But let me ask you this, and
Yeah.
you again, we love music. Would you be here for a Hall and Oates versus
I would, because that's 80s.
like a Michael McDonald or
I think
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think all of us would I think a lot of people would, because it's that nostalgia factor.
I even can see you had to be around this era, but although we know you're a historian, it would not make sense if Janet and Madonna went at it.
No, see, that's the thing. I think they're trying to get money in the bag to afford that.
It would not make sense.
Yeah.
So because if you're around that time in that era, I don't think people really truly understand how big Madonna was.
Mhm.
Like huge. And on the other side, we had Janet. They were.
Yeah. See, now see, they would do
So-
it. Now they Verzuz would do it, but also that's something I would stray away from, because the music doesn't match too much. They would still do it. I would still enjoy it. Because I would be forced. I would be forced to eat it. I would be forced to eat it, but the genres would. There's a couple of songs where I'm like, okay, Madonna, this doesn't. That's like her "Take a Bow" with Babyface, and her that Pleasure Principle album is pop. That goes up. It matches up well against Madonna. Some of the other stuff, I'm like, nah. See what you gonna have when Janet going this bag.
So okay, glad you said that. What?
Now
Because
both of them.
we've been hearing Justin Timberlake and Usher. What happens when he bring out? Well, I don't even know if this is song, like the bye 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 type songs and those kind of songs.
I mean, that's Justin Timberlake.
Okay, so what happens when he brings out bye bye bye?
Now you
versus
also
you don't got to call.
You also talking to somebody who don't want to see that. Like,
but we've heard it. We've heard it.
Yeah, I know. We
have heard it.
Yeah.
So
no, like I said, I would enjoy it. I wouldn't vote for it, but once it gets voted
it'll break
on,
the
I'm
internet,
like,
though.
But I understand it.
But what do we talk about? Money,
Yeah,
views,
they're trying to make this money.
sponsorship.
If that brings us closer to like Beyonce and some of these folks hitting the stage, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
but
I could see, like you said, I could see a lot of pop groups starting to, hey, come on over.
Yeah,
come jump on. I can see it. I can see it.
Because right now the secret's out. Like people are I think it's intentional. Like the day after Verzuz, if you go follow the artist, they post how their streams went up 300%. And I think that's a signal to all of the other artists out there that are trying to still find their footing in this world of streaming. Even though we can't pay you on the front end, it's like the same thing we do with actors. You get you get the back end money because your streams jump up 300% for the next 6 months or so.
Yeah.
So, no, I wouldn't be surprised who does it right now. If the artists still tour, that means they still want to make money off of music. And a lot of these people that we name they're still touring. So,
I mean, I just saw today, a picture on Instagram with Pink Floyd. I guess they had a concert somewhere.
They would do it.
Bro, it looked like they had a festival going on. How many people were there?
Man, they would do it. See those, and for me, it's like MTV disappeared. What I mean by that is MTV used to play music.
Yeah, I know.
BET
exactly
used to play music. Like I'll go there for my reality shows, but that has to have a space in today's world to where I want to consume live performances without having to pay for a concert each time.
Yeah.
So MTV back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm talking about my back in the day, which is the 90s and 2000s. You would be able to
even
see,
the 80s.
Yeah, you would be able to see a Blink 182 video, and then 3 seconds later, a Drew Hill video. So that's what Verzuz is going to become. It's going to be on a Monday, you have a Jodeci versus Drew Hill. On a Tuesday, you have I'm trying to think of the most pop groups I could think of. You're gonna have a Hanson versus
bop.
so it's gonna be like one of those type things. It's like, oh, okay, their programming is gonna allow me to be comfortable with these different
like a red hot chili peppers,
or
Green Day,
Van Halen's, these Linkin Parks and all that stuff. Come on, man, like I'm here for it. I rather, and I know some people might feel a certain type of way that
absolutely,
why couldn't we just keep this
absolutely
extremely cultural? And for me, I feel way more comfortable with Swiss and Timbaland's hands being on the steering wheel, because if not, somebody else is going to basically commandeer the idea, and it's going to be, hey, not going to be called Verzuz. It's going to be called, hey, Head to Heads, brought to you by Viacom. And I don't want to see that. I don't
want to see that.
Yeah, this was a great idea by Tim and Swiss, and I want them to be the main profiteers from that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what we think. But at the end of the day, I want to go to who will win. Let's stay on the topic at hand. You got Looney Tunes versus DJ Nelson. You're gonna be surprised at my pick this time. Who will win this matchup?
I'm gonna say 50-50. You know what? I'll say 51-49. And the only reason why is because I know Looney Tunes, it has something to do with gasolina. Yeah. I'm sorry. My apologies. I should have called Los. Hey, Los, give me some intel. But unfortunately, so I'm gonna go.
Los is that's one of our frat brothers. He's one of our frat brothers. He's our correspondent when it comes to reggaeton. For me, I didn't get a chance to call Los, so I'm gonna just stay where I'm at, and I'm just gonna say 100%. That's just me defaulting. I don't know. Will I watch it? Probably not. But I think I want this from Verzuz more, to where it's like, give me an opportunity to skip out on some events. I don't care about being the having to be able to pull something out of Verzuz every night. I'd rather that this grows and more people, the same experience I got with seeing Teddy Riley. And I kept telling people, no, Teddy Riley's that guy. Babyface is that guy. And people are like, who are those old school guys? But after they saw the Verzuz, they learned what I knew all along. I don't mind other people having that experience with producers or artists that they like. Like, I'm telling you, DJ Nelson's that guy. Looney Tunes is that guy. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't know they made all these songs that I be hearing on these little mixes or whatever. So I'm basically refusing to answer because I don't know. So I'm saying 100%, but at the end of the day, we don't know. So, but if you do listen to reggaeton, or there's some other genres that you think Verzuz should highlight, or you think this is a bad idea, what's a way that we could, kind of pick their brain a little bit, Bill?
Listen, you guys know what to do. Go to your comment section. Y'all know we call it My 2 Cents down below, and make sure you let us know. Does it make sense? Are you here for this Verzuz? Do you want to keep it to, our culture? Do you want it to expand? Leave any and every comment that you have. Put it in our 2 cents below.
All right, and shout out to Ray J, because Ray J kind of forced their hand. It was like, hey, they probably would have dragged their feet on this if it wasn't for what happened last time. I think it was like,
it could be, yeah.
Press the button. It
could be, yeah, because it probably was already.
Press the button. It's like, probably, and not that he was the only person, but I think even from the Bone Thugs and stuff that was happening, it was starting to deter sponsors. And I think what happened last time, they were like, nope, press the button. We gotta expand. And then what's another way they could support, Bill?
You know what to do. Like this video, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that when we upload any new content, you are instantly notified. And trust me, you want to be notified, because our unanimous decision interview series, we got some good ones coming. Trust me.
Yes, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey guys, I'm looking forward to hearing your 2 cents.
Whoa, Barry, hold on.
Oh, what's
How
up?
do they follow us?
Oh, it's on the screen. So
okay.
Hey, yeah.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
On the screen. Follow us right here.
Check us out.
Peace.
Outside of that, peace.